Cleveland firefighters are really upset over City Hall's decision not to accept a huge grant from the federal government. They say the money would save jobs and make the community safer. News Channel 5's Paul Kiska joins us now. And Paul, can the two sides reach an agreement?
Well, they're trying, but it might be out of their hands. Mayor Frank Jackson has worked extensively with unions to avoid layoffs, but there seems to be no getting around these state-imposed budget cuts. And now it turns out money from the federal government to pay for firefighters comes with too much red tape. Chanting, "Take the grant." Hundreds of Cleveland firefighters and their families rally outside City Hall today, urging Mayor Frank Jackson to use a federal grant to retain laid-off firefighters.
This grant is going to provide the highest level of safety.
State budget cuts forced city leaders to lay off city workers, including 122 police officers and 51 firefighters who lose their jobs Monday, and some fire stations will close.
Laying off firefighters is not necessary, but the safety of our citizens of the city of Cleveland is very necessary.
It's a very stressful situation. Anytime you're losing a job, it's very stressful.
Turns out the federal grant offered to the city can only be used to hire new firefighters, not retain laid-off firefighters. City leaders announced during a jam-packed safety committee meeting today. City leaders even asked the feds to change the wording on the grant, but were turned down.
And for us to put them on the street, to me, is unconscionable. Right. Unfortunately, we have some state-imposed budget reductions, and we have no alternative.
Because my greatest fear is that it could get worse. Yes. There could be more constriction, more layoffs, more terminations, and more closing of city facilities or browning out of city facilities unless something dramatically changes in this economy.
And that's a dose of reality from Cleveland City Councilman Mike Polensek, saying it's possible the state could impose even more budget cuts in the coming weeks. So the layoffs start next week when fire stations will be on rolling brownouts, which means 5 fire stations will temporarily be shut down at a time, perhaps every day. Now, last month we told you the police academy will be allowed to graduate June 23rd, but will receive their layoff notices the same day. That agreement has been in place for weeks, but was officially signed today. In the newsroom, Paul Kiska, News Channel 5.